You're rolling. 3, 2, 1. Cancer is a jackweed. Hi, I'm Damon Fontenot. I'm 40 years old, and I've been diagnosed with stage 4 liver cancer, a rare form known as cholangiocarcinoma, which at this point is inoperable and so far incurable.
It was a shock because he's always been very active. He had been riding his bike, he had been going to the gym, he had been started to play golf, and so he thought that he had probably pulled a muscle. So that's what he thought. But it wasn't. And I thought maybe he hurt himself, or maybe he, strained himself or something. I didn't know what that pain could be. So it was really a shock when they said he had liver cancer, stage 4. It was a shock. I just can't believe it.
Yeah, a month ago I went to attend Dallas and flew to Vegas on 12 hours notice, and stayed there for 6 days. I felt fine, and I've been working out really hard since I've been unemployed for a few months. I'd been working out an hour and a half to 2 hours, every other day, playing golf. So I actually got patted down on my shoulders going through TSA on both going to Vegas and coming back because I'd really built up my muscle. So I was really jacked at the time. But after I came back from Vegas, I worked out the next day, and then that Wednesday I started feeling a little weird. Thursday I was sore. Friday I went out with Mark Scott, the video maker, and had a good time. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, it just got progressively worse. The pain that starts on your right side behind the rib cage, and kind of mine migrated south to the intestines. One thing I should tell you is I have had Crohn's disease for 10 years, so that was definitely a complicating factor, definitely a masking factor, and definitely, well, almost certainly a cause of the disease. So because of the Crohn's, I have a high pain tolerance, and it doesn't really, usually I'll get sick for a couple of days and then get well again. So I wasn't overly concerned. But as it got progressively worse, I grew a bit concerned. It was difficult to sleep at night, difficult to get out of bed. So eventually I got some painkillers from my GI doctor, which helped. But then, I still was concerned, so I went to my primary physician in Edmond, Stuart Schrader, and he thought it may have to do with the gallbladder, gallstones or something like that. So he sent me back to Norman to have a CT scan that day. About 1 o'clock I had that CT scan. About 2 o'clock that day I ate some noodle soup, two little bowls of noodle soup, and little did I know that'd be the last time I'd eat for 4 days. The doctor called me. He's a really good doctor, a good friend. So he called me at 6:30 that night and told me he didn't like the looks of the CT scan, and that he would prefer that I check into Mercy Hospital in Edmond, Oklahoma City, immediately. So I had my brother-in-law and my mother drive me to Mercy. Got there at 8:30. At 1 a.m. we got into a room, and I stayed there for a week as they tried to control the Crohn's and starve me so they could do a biopsy on the liver. From there it was, it's what you see on TV. It's everyone's worst nightmare. It's this is every doctor that came in progressively was, this is not good news. This is not good news. So after I got the biopsy, within 24 hours, they had confirmed that it was cancer. From that point, it became, cholangiocarcinoma and stage 4 liver cancer without a positive prognosis. So. What's up, man?
Hey, good talk to you. How are you?
I'm still struggling.
Are you? Are you in Norman?
Yeah.
Are you? Okay. I was gonna ask how things were going. So it's kind of a fight, huh?
Yeah, it's a serious fight right now.
Okay. Can you tell us if there's anything that we can do for you? Can we bring you meals? Can we do that sort of stuff for you?
I mean, maybe just a couple or something. I'm on low fiber diet. I can't eat like real strong stuff, and vegetables with high fiber. I really need to eat high protein, less carbs. It's tough to eat as much as I want right now. So
No, I understand.
everything I eat needs to kind of contribute. So my oncologist wants me to eat as much as I can, but it's tough with my Crohn's. So just two different fights there, and then
I didn't know you had Crohn's.
yeah, and there's a lot of it's just dealing with the pain and stuff. So
Right. So have you gone into treatment already?
no,
Not yet. Okay.
trying to get that second opinion from MD Anderson, but it's been impossible to get in there.
Did your doctor, by any chance, did he refer you to another doctor?
He referred me. I mean, they're supposed to help me try to get into MD Anderson.
Okay. I know, by any chance, did the name Dr. Boffey come up?
No.
I wonder if, I'll text you his name, but he is a doctor that works as a referral basis only. And he's the guy that is pretty much written the book on this cancer treatment, especially for liver. So he's the guy I'd want you to talk to, or at least give to your doctor, and that might get you. I don't know that would get you in the door, but it might. I don't know.
Okay.
So I'm gonna text you his name, and you should share it with your doctor, because he can probably get you. I ask, is it your doctor working at all to get you into MDA, or are you just doing it all by yourself?
He said he was going to try to get me in, but it seems like his staff is incompetent, so I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna share his name with you anyway, and we'll see what we can do to work it from another angle. But he's apparently the guy to see. So, like I said, I'll send this to you.
Okay.
Tell you what, I'm gonna talk with my wife. We'll try to get you like some prepackaged meals or something that we can bring to you. Would that be okay?
Yeah, I would appreciate it. I mean, we've got food, but I just don't want my sister's been bringing some for me to eat, but there's my mom doesn't need to be, she's waiting on me on hand and foot, so she doesn't need to be doing all that too. So
She's got a lot on her plate right now.
yeah.
We'd love to help you, so any way we can.
Yeah. I know.
Here, man. So
Okay.
that's our hope. So, yeah.
The thing is that mapping starts on the, at this point I'm against the clock now, and I thought 2 weeks was so long, and then at this point the mapping they want to do for for that one treatment, the yttrium treatment, is on the 17th, and I don't want to put anything off because I need to get something started. You know, I need.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Kind of time is the essence.
but at the same time, I'll go on the, you know, me and my brother-in-law will go on the turn of a dime, you know, to get there in time to get the opinion and get back or whatever. So,
Right. Okay, good. Well, all right. So let's move as quick as we can on this. I'll end on this stuff. But yeah, well, keep me. I know it's gonna be tough, but I'll check in with you. Keep me posted on other stuff. And like I said, I really mean it. You call me if there's anything I can do at all.
all right, I appreciate it.
Right. Whatever. You tell me.
Okay. Yep. Thanks, man.
All right. Hang in there, buddy. Well, I'm gonna call you tomorrow. See where I can find you and all that sort of stuff. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, David.
Take care, man.
Okay.
Thinking of you.
Thank you.
All right.
See you. So, you know, one of the best things about, well, you know, maybe the only good thing about experiencing something like this is your friends, you know, the feedback from your friends and them, everyone trying to help whatever way they can. And, you know, it's not for publicity or anything. It's just because they care about you and you've been a loyal friend to them in the past. So it's nice to hear from people. The outpouring over social media has been, you know, amazing. And it's just the redeeming part of terrible, terrible, you know, happenstance. But it makes you feel good, at least for a little while, you know. If you're not in a ridiculous amount of pain, you can, you know, put a smile on your face to hear from all the people that care about you from, you know, from the past all the way back to my good friends in elementary school, who I'm going to try to get together with, you know, at some point, whether it be here in Houston or, you know, so everyone really trying to help, you know, and looking at clinical studies and, you know, looking at best options and finding stories of people who have defeated, you know, inoperable cancers or at least to have sustained them for several years. But that's the good side of a horrible, horrible situation, you know, and that's all that people can do, you know. There's only so many meals I can use. There's only, you know, so many rides I can take, but the support and the prayers, you know, that's what's really appreciated, because it's gonna be a tough battle, but, you know, and be strong enough to fight it. So we'll see what happens. Well, I guess time flies when you're having fun or not having fun, I guess, because I guess I went to the hospital the 24th. Today is November 11th, so somewhere around 18 days in. The update is that MD Anderson finally called me back, but the earliest they could offer a guaranteed appointment was November 25th, which is obviously a full month after I went into the hospital. And the tentative treatment that I have scheduled right now starts on November 17th. That would be the mapping, and then I would have an actual dose of basically radiation chemotherapy, that kind of thing on the 24th. sticking to the current schedule. So 25th probably isn't going to work. I need to start getting treatment. I need to see some progress. And, you know, the SIRT, which is selective internal radiation therapy, I believe. Sounds like a good option. I'm going to get, even if I can't get down to MD Anderson, they're going to consult with my oncologist and try to give him an opinion through that. But same time, I told MD Anderson, you know, I've been trying to get in there for a good week and a half now. They didn't get my medical records till a couple of days ago, which is, you know, a technical problem on their side because I uploaded them onto the website, and then, you know, unfortunately, some incompetence on doctors' aid sides not getting them the records as soon as we requested. So she's going to try to get me in during the cancellation. I told her, you know, don't hesitate to set me up for tomorrow, you know, or whenever. I'll make it down there somehow. So I still hope to get MD Anderson. Like we said, today it's the 11th. Got till Tuesday of next week before, you know, the actual mapping. But at the same time, the insurance is cleared, and they're going to need to know in the next 2 days, basically, to keep with this time frame, so they can mail this yttrium to, you know, this is very serious stuff, so toxic stuff, so they can mail that and get that secured and stuff like that. So that's the plan. Keep saying I need to look into Tulsa's 1 day second opinion option and stuff like that, but who would have thunk it? It's difficult to get stuff done when you're, you know, in pain all the time and uncomfortable all the time and sleeping and trying to do this stuff and whatever else. So, you know, it's good that I finally heard back from them, and there's some kind of plan in place. Tomorrow, on Thursday, I have doctor's appointment with the gastroenterologist and the oncologist. So we'll see how that goes, and I think we'll have video from the oncology visit as well. So just moving forward, still seeing a couple of my good friends come by, which is nice, and just trying to be productive during the day, but also, you know, have as much fun as I can. And, I mean, you know, have good discussions and memories, you know, during this time. So that's the plan right now. Wednesday, Thursday we'll know more, and then see how it goes from there. But we're going to keep you updated along the way.
Yeah, so this is why we would be best to get in touch with Tulsa if we possibly can today. And if we can squeeze something in to where we're done with all that, or, you know, in time to where they could come to some conclusion and we could have the full second opinion before anything was scheduled.
It can be tough at this point. They need to know by the end of tomorrow whether we're staying with the treatment. At that point, we're going to have to move it back if...
Well, maybe perhaps the good thing is if we can, I mean, I know it'd be short notice, if we can get lucky and either get word today or be able to get up there tomorrow and get everything rolling, maybe they get enough information where they can give you a good idea on that instead of having, so that's why we should talk to them and see if we could push for, if at all possible, know something by the close of business tomorrow. I think it would help to get up there.
goes to the heart. And when you get a bunch of cancer in the liver, the blood flow through the liver isn't good. It starts to act like a dam. The cancer blocks the fluid coming back, so that fluid backs up into the abdomen and then seeps out, causing his abdomen to swell. And so the liver is big and swollen and causing fluid to seep out in here and pushing on the capsule of the liver, so he has pain because the liver itself's not innervated, but the capsule of the liver is, and the cancer's pushing on the capsule causing pain. The fluid's leaking out into the abdomen causing pain. So it's not necessarily that the bile ducts, I'm sure that doesn't help. I don't know that that's the problem.
Okay,
The problem
so,
is
well, yeah,
just the big bulk of the cancer.
yeah, so this one basically, so this cancer, the way it started then, this started in the liver, this was
Started
inside and,
In the lining of the bile ducts, I mean, they get really small and it's just kind of grown diffusely through. So the treatment's given through the blood.
mhm,
And then
right, yeah,
and
because
then
they
yeah,
fish it up in there.
yeah. So it's not given like in the bile ducts.
So then the
And if the
idea,
cancer shrinks, the bile ducts would open up, and eventually he's going to get jaundice. And at some
Right.
point, he
so
does get jaundice.
the idea here then is, if I understand this right, is that if we get the little beads in there, they kill the cancer, preferentially they're harder on the cancer than on the healthy liver tissue. By killing it, it will shrink. That should reduce the pressure on the capsule, should reduce the backup of the fluid. So we would know, what's the time frame on how long you'd know if something like that actually works, or even the chemo. Do these things like, will you see a noticeable change in the symptoms?
So chemotherapy just depends on how fast it shrinks. So some cancers are very sensitive to chemo. So for like lymphoma, which he doesn't have, he could be a lot better in a week or two. For a cholangiocarcinoma, I would think he might start to get better in 3 or 4 weeks if the chemo's helping. There's a few people who respond really fast, and some people, so he's in a situation where he needs it to shrink. So some people have stable disease. Stable disease isn't good enough here. We really need it to shrink. So
Right.
he could be better in 2 to 4 weeks from chemo.
So we would basically know after 2 treatments, so it'd be like week 3 or 4. So based on what you said, you start with the first dose. Let's say we started Monday, then we do follow up the following Monday, and 1 week off. So hopefully by that week off, which would be 3 weeks forward, we probably would start to notice something, if it's actually going to work.
I would hope so.
Can we schedule tomorrow, and then if we go to Tulsa, schedule it Monday instead?